Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today I decided to do a little live streaming for you, and we are going to be drawing eyes, watercolor eyes. So I know that there is a lot of time zones and you are guys from the different places, so I'm going to save this live stream. Hopefully I can do it. And yeah, I decided to film it for you, just for you to see the process just step by step from the pencil sketch to the watercolor drawings. So let me tell you about my materials that I'm going to be using today. So this is my watercolor sketchbook, very simple one. It's simple watercolor sketch, but I have the here a very nice paper. It's like 300 GSM, very thick one, made for watercolors. And I'm gonna be using my pencil, very simple one. Of course, my watercolors. I have a set of watercolors with me here. Here it is. It's a bit messy. And of course, I'm gonna be using water for my brushes. It's over here. And here I'm going to be using probably these three brushes. Yeah, and the brand is, I don't know how to read this. I hope you can see. Yeah, it's a squirrel hair. The perfect kind of brush for watercolors, in my opinion. And I'm going to be using, I mean, it's optional, but I'm going to be using this white liner, and you always ask me about that. And this is the liner I'm using for the highlights and stuff. And probably I'm going to be using this black liner. Yeah, for the like intensifying some very dark places. And today we're going to be drawing these eyes, and I'm going to be using this only as a reference. I'm probably going to change the eye color and stuff. So yeah, let's begin with the pencil sketch from the very basic steps. And I'm gonna be listening to some music. I hope you guys don't mind. I always love to listen to some music. And I'm using yeah, I'm listening to some Just Be You hip hop chill beats music. The channel named Dreamy. I really love the music. So yeah, let's begin. So what I like to do first, I like to kind of separate the paper so I can see where to locate everything. And as long as I have um, kind of made these borders with the stickers, I'm gonna be use it as a like a line guidelines. So let's begin. I'm gonna be just sketch very simple shapes, just to see where I want to locate um, my eyes, as well as the eyebrows. So I'm gonna be using my pencil. So what I like to do, I like to draw very basic shapes, and then I'm going to like draw an eyes. So the girl looks kind of from the side, so I wanted to catch this side look. And she has quite bushy eyebrows, but I'm probably going to change a lot of things in her, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so the shapes are done. I'm going to draw an actual eyes. Yeah, I probably did a bit lower, so I'm probably gonna do some bangs to make it look real, I guess. And here we have the shape of the face. Yeah, something like that. And the nose, of course. You can see the nose here. So let's begin, I guess, to draw the shape of the eyes. So I'm drawing very light sketch because we're going to use watercolors after, so I wanted to keep my paper as clean as possible to avoid any like dirt from the pencil. So I'm doing very light sketch, like I don't draw any particular details, just a basic shape. And then I'm going to use my watercolors, tiny brushes and stuff to create all those details. And you of course can do whatever you like, but I just advise you to keep your paper clean from the pencil, or use soft eraser after, so you can make your paper clean. Okay, it's done. Let's erase some lines. And first of all, I'm going to wet the paper, and I'm going to wet all the surface around the eyes. And for the basic color, I'm going to be using probably my favorite colors, and it's going to be burnt umber. It's kind of a brown color mixed with any pink shade of color. And I'm going to use a lot of water to make the color looks almost transparent, so it will look very light. So the first layer is going to be super light. And let's apply it all over the place. Don't forget to avoid the whites of the eyes. All the surface. This is going to be our very base layer. And if you think that the layer is too transparent, you can add a little bit of colors, but I advise you to wait a little to make the paper soak in all the wet. I'm going to add a little bit of brown color to the shades, to the darker place. The shades will probably be here, the most darker one under the eyebrows, on the eyelids, down here. As you can see, while the paper is wet, the paint spreads very well, evenly, and it creates the illusion of very soft skin. So keep it wet, but not too much. And I'm probably going to be drawing bangs here, so let's just add some colors over here. So if you add a bit darker color, you can just take your wet brush, clean one, and get the paint, kind of spritz it like this. I love to use two of my watercolor brushes to keep the edges very soft, and you will see what I'm talking about later. Okay, so the paper is quite wet, and I wanted to add a little bit different shades of colors, so I'm probably going to be using a bit of yellowish burnt sienna colors. It's super light brown mixed with yellow, and I'm gonna be add this color over here. You can see it's a bit like yellowish color over here to the lower lid, and probably over here. So the most like dark colors are probably going to be around the eyes, over here, like under the eyebrows and on the eyelids. So I'm going to focus here. The left eye is going to be a bit darker than the right one because the light comes from here, and this part of the face is going to be a bit darker. And I'm gonna add a bit more colors. Also, don't forget that the paint, when it dries, it tends to fade, so the colors are going to be very faded. Okay, the paper starts to dry a little, and we can add a bit more colors. Let's add a bit of purple color to the lower eyelid, just a little bit. So cool tone colors usually used for the shadows. So if you wanted to make your shadow looks darker, use cooler toned paints. But don't overdo it, because it might look a bit dirty. And also I'm going to be drawing eyes with a little bit of makeup, so I'm going to be using red shades like sienna mixed with red, and I'm going to add a bit of color over here. You can add a bit of shades to your eyebrows, like the basic layer, to locate the eyebrows. And for the eyebrows, I'm going to be using darker shades, probably brown mixed with a bit of black and a little bit of purple, because the girl will have darker hair color. So I'm going to be using I'm not drawing like any particular hairs, any details, because this is going to be very basic layer, and then we're going to add a bit more details after. So I'm going to spread the paint a little. I'm taking my clean wet brush, slightly wet, not too much, and I'm going to spread the paint a little. Okay, let's draw our whites of the eyes. For that, I'm going to be using my indigo color. I love that color. It's like dark blue, dirty blue color. And I'm going to add a little bit over here. It looks kind of messy at the beginning, but trust me, it's going to look okay after. And I'm going to spread the paint a little. So the eyes itself, I wanted to make it kind of green, golden green color, so I'm not going to spread the paint all over again. Okay, we need to wait for it to dry, so let's move on to the next section. I'm probably going to be adding a bit more colors, so a bit more red color to some parts. And I want to add a bit of yellow color over here, just a little bit, and also to the nose. It's like the lightest part of the face, but still we need to add some color. Okay, we need to wait for the paper to dry a little, so I'm going to work with the details. Let's add a little bit of pink color over here, just a little bit. And also, let's draw the irises. And I'm going to be using yellow color, burnt sienna or yellow, and add right in the middle to make the color pop. And let it dry. Let's add a bit of shadows to the eyes. I'm going to be using purple mixed with burnt umber. And add it over here, because this is the most intensifying parts of the face. And let's spread the paint a little. Okay, let's move to the eyebrows. I think they're quite dry. I'm gonna be mixing the same shade, like black brown and a bit of purple. Not too dark though. Keep it light. And I'm still going to be using my big brush because the paper is still wet, so I'm going to add like a little texture to the eyebrows. Also, let's add some hair and the bangs, and I'm going to mix the same color as for the eyebrows, brown, black, and a bit of purple, and I'm going to add just a few strokes to make it look a bit messy, but so where should it go? Over here. And the same color goes to this part because the hair is probably going to be there because the girl looks from the side. We're going to add a little bit more layers to the hair, of course. We're not going to keep it like this, but as the basic is just fine. So let's add a bit of shadows to the eyes. I'm going to be using a bit of purple and burnt sienna, or purple with brown. And then again, over here, to the darker part, to the lower lash, just a little bit. And then I'm going to be using my wet clean brush, the second one, and slightly spread the paint over here. I'm gonna add a little bit more colors to the left side to make it look darker, because as we agreed, this part of the face is kind of in the shadow, and I'm gonna be using the shades of brown over here. Okay, we need to wait till it dries. And I'm going to slightly spread the paint. Not too much though. We can add a bit more color to the nose. Just a little bit over here. Let's add a bit of color to the whites of the eyes. I wanted to add a bit of purple and probably a bit of brown color to make it look darker, just a little. Keep the layers transparent. Yeah, like that. So we need to wait a little to continue to work because the paper is still wet. And let's work with the eyes, the irises itself. And I wanted to make it look kind of green, so I'm going to mix green and a bit of brown color. I never use clean colors by itself. I always mix at least two colors together. So let's draw the irises. So I wanted to keep the eyes, the center of the eyes, very light. So I'm working from the edges to the center. And I'm going to use my wet clean brush to spread the paint just a little. Very carefully, because I wanted to save this like yellow color. Okay, we need to wait a little, so let's work with the eyebrows finally. I think it's quite dry. Yeah, it dries. So let's mix black, brown, and a bit of purple, but still keep the light. And I'm gonna use my slightly smaller brush, and I'm gonna be drawing kind of hair. So we're gonna add a bit more shades to the eyelids, so I'm not going to draw like very precisely our eyebrows. I hope the music is not too loud and you can actually hear me. With the same color, I wanted to draw like very precise shadows and add some details. So I'm gonna be drawing a lower eyelid because it's quite dark over here, inner corner, over here. And to the left eye with the same color. So the girl obviously have some makeup and mascara, and you need to keep it in mind. That's why we are drawing kind of very dark lines. around the eyes. Okay, let's add some colors again to the eyelids, and I wanted to intensify some red colors. I'm gonna be using red, light red color to the lower lid, just a bit of here, over here. A bit of purple, because why not? The color is still going to fade, so don't worry about it. I love to spread the paint. Okay, let's move on to the irises. I wanted to add a bit of brown color to the center, like super light brown, because green eyes usually have that sparkle inside. A bit of brown color. And a bit of a red color, just a little over here. And let it dry. And let's work around the eyes. So I'm going to mix a bit of pink and burnt umber. And let's work the details over here. The inner corners are usually quite pink. And of course, we spread the paint to keep it soft, as natural as possible. And of course, we're going to add some highlights with the pen, so it's not going to be that dark. Also, let's mix some dark colors and add some lights. Because this is a live stream and the quality of the video is really not the best, so I'm sorry for that. But at least you can see the process step by step, which is not bad. Okay, let's draw the lines around the eyes to make it like very dark. So I'm using my brush, number is 8. This is my favorite brush to work with the details like that. Not the tiny one, but at least the smallest. So the eye line, like right here, looks quite dark, and also on the lower line. And of course we're going to spread the paint like this. And over here. to the right eye. Add a bit more color. So I'm adding like an illusion of lower lashes, but not too intense. And I'm going to be drawing lower eyelid. For that I'm going to be using my mix of burnt umber and pink color. And I'm going to draw the line just to show that we have that lower eyelid. And over here as well. On the left eye it's quite dark, but don't make it too dark because the person might look kind of ill. So keep it bright but not too dark. Okay, almost done. So let's add a bit of details. So I'm still waiting for the paper to dry. I can't work with the tiny details just yet. To apply some colors on the wet paper. So let's move on to the eyes and add a bit of more intense colors. I'm gonna be mixing green color with brown. And I'm gonna add this to the outer corner. Just a little bit. When you outline the eyes, it always looks very bright. Just a bit of sparkles and dots. And keep the same eye size to make it look like real. Also, let's add some dark lines over here. Because the shadows over here are very dark. And keep the waterline clean. Okay, let's add some dark colors. I'm gonna mix black color, a bit of purple, and a bit of green. Green, black, and purple. So it's going to have some very dirty, dark green color. And I'm gonna work with the edges. And the paint is going to spread. So the darker parts locates over here under the upper eyelid. Keep it in mind. I'm going to add just a tiny bits of dark color. We're going to add more after. Because again, when it dries, it tends to fade. Let's add a bit over here. Okay, I think we can add a bit of color to the... Oh, There's a pigment over here. I didn't see it. Let's spread the paint. That's okay. We need to have more colors. Let's add a bit more colors to the hair, to the bangs, because it needs to be very dark. So I'm going to be mixing the same shades, and it's going to be black, purple, and brown. And of course we're going to add some highlights. With the same color, we can add a bit of volume to the eyebrows. I'm going to use my small brush to that. Don't forget to add some shadows from the bangs. So I'm slowly adding some more colors. This is like the final steps. And then we're going to draw eyelashes. I just wanted to keep it very colorful and bright. And for that, I'm going to keep adding some colors to the eyelids. And also to the skin as well. Okay, let's mix some colors for the first layer of our lashes, and it's going to be black mixed with purple and a bit of brown as for the hair, but we're going to keep it a bit lighter because this is the basic layer. So the key to draw the lashes is actually don't draw it too hard. Keep your hand very light and don't try to draw every single lash. Just keep the movements very smooth. And also create the shape to make it look more natural. And the lower lashes, of course. It's not that dark, but it is. Here. So some lashes are tangled together. And as you can see, the layer already drying and it's not very visible. So later we're going to add some black liner to that to make it look like brighter. And let's draw lashes on the right eye. So I'll have to begin with the outer corner of the eyes. And the lashes is quite long. At least I wanted to make it long. And because girl wears mascara, some of the lashes are tangled as well. And also let's add some shadows that falls from the eyelashes over here. Okay, let's work with our black liner to make the eyelashes look brighter. And we gotta also intensify our eyes to make it look like super black over here. Also add some sparkles over here, just a little bit. Okay, let's add some highlights. This is the very fun part. I'm gonna be using my white liner, and it's from Jelly Roll, Japanese brand, I don't know. And I'm gonna be adding some highlights to the eyes, of course. So let's see. Let's add some highlights over here to make the color super pop. I mean, when you add some highlights, it always looks natural immediately and super bright. And oh, thank you. Yeah. I see you. Thank you. So let's add some highlights to the inner corners. and also to the eye, whites of the eyes over here. I wanted to make the eyes look very sparkly. And this line over here, once it dries, I'm going to add more. And of course, I'm going to add some highlights between the lashes over here. It always creates like an illusion of wet eyelids or eyeshadows. And to the lower lash over here, just a little bit. And to the left eye as well. But it's not that bright, so we're not going to add too much of the highlights, just a little bit. And over here, of course, to the white of the eye. Just to create this like watery illusion. And of course to the upper eyelids. Over here, just a little. We are almost done. So let's see, I think I'm going to add a little bit more highlights to the eyebrows, just a little, as long as we have that sparkly eye. And I want to add some highlights to the lashes, but we will see how it goes. I don't want to make it too white, so just to intensify some eyelashes because we can't really see it over here. And just a little bit. And over here. And I think that's it. And I'm going to intensify some highlights a little bit more. A little bit to the hair, obviously. Okay, we are done. This is the eye. Let's remove the sticker to see the result. I love it. This is my favorite part, favorite process. Let me bring the camera up here. Oh yeah, I love that. I love the paper. It doesn't really stick. Okay, let me catch this. Yep, this is it. This is the final result. I don't know if the camera actually can capture the colors, and yeah, it's not really. Let's sign it, shall we? Okay. It's done. Okay. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'm going to save the live stream on my channel so you can rewatch it. And thank you all for coming, and I will see you later. Bye bye.